the copies. So,
Okay, yeah, no, I like that. That's yeah, anytime you have a specialized type of work, you can charge more money.
yep.
Yeah, and this is
And
cool about it.
get it done the same day. People like it.
You got your Joe, your cup of Joe?
Not yet.
Mm,
Oh, my post on the chatterbox that I shared about the group, it got taken down, I guess. So
mm. Yeah, it's just drama.
kind of funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama there, but you know what? I don't sweat it.
Yep.
I don't sweat it. I just have a good time and to make some money and I think about how sad somebody's life must be if they if what they have to do is like be negative and like try to tear you down,
Not
like
even that. Like it's blocking other people from benefiting from your value. So,
oh
yeah,
if the group people take it down. Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
not cool.
yeah. But it's only hurting their members, right? Like their member,
Right.
you know. And I actually see that in some of the groups. Like I joined a Serve Now group on Facebook. I'm trying to pull it up here. I joined that group. I've been a part of that group, since they very first started. I actually helped them start it. And now it has a lot of people because they ran ads to their group for a long time. You would see ads, and I've never done that. So at some point I might do that, run some ads to the group, but ultimately it's just like if people can benefit, that's the goal. So um how funny. Safe Light people. I already canceled that. So I had this Mustang and they had a cracked window and I was going to sell it. I was going to have Safe Light come fix it. And I sold the car. And instead of fixing the window, they didn't care. So I sold the car.
Oh, that works out.
Yeah. And then now they're like, what about us? I'm like, you can call him. He might fix it.
I don't have it anymore.
Yeah. So we got Charisma on here. What's going on? Just probably driving, listening in. Cool, cool. No worries, no worries. So I've actually been since I've pivoted to not doing the real estate education stuff at all, and all my focus is on this, and obviously on my health and stuff. I was like, there's actually so many things we could do that we don't do. You know, what am I doing here? First of all, learning how to use a Mac.
I used to use one and so I don't know, at some point went back over and I don't want to relearn it again.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like, oh, I see what I did. Yeah, you're like you have all these windows and you have to be able to move from one window to another. And if you don't know what you're doing, like you could just, like here it is FaceTime. There we go. So I have my screen. Anyway, so what's on your agenda for today? What do you got going on?
You remember last time we were talking about updating my address in the Google Maps profile thing?
Mm,
So instead of just doing it, I called, made sure I was on the phone with them to, because I didn't want my original one to get deleted. And they call you back within 1 minute. It's really easy.
oh wow.
So that was in process over the weekend. And then I just got an email this morning. It says I have to do a live video call with them to verify the address. So I'll be doing that today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm working on my blog for the website. Just keep using Chat GPT and customizing it for my location, adding in my keywords, my cities, my courthouses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's it's exciting because you understand we're talking about like how to like promote your business and stuff. And if you're sponsoring an event, like that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. I thought there would be a bunch of other big process serving companies doing it, but guess they don't need to. So, or
Yeah,
they don't want to support the community also.
it's more for you.
Yeah, we'll see
Yeah,
how it goes.
yeah, very cool. Very cool. Well, I'm actually really I'm looking forward to this week. Anytime you can like book in your weeks, like Monday through Thursday, that's when we're doing these mastermind calls. And anytime you could book in your week and say, okay, today's Monday, between now and Thursday, I'm going to do XYZ. Um, and then on Thursday, it's like, hey, this is what you'll find is that things will come up. You'll have problems. Things will come up. And then because you have this mastermind, right now it's just me and you and charisma maybe, right? And other people who will pop in here and there when they're available, you're gonna get your questions solved. And it's not just me, definitely not me. Like and if ever I felt like, man, there's questions in here I really just don't know how to answer. I'm not helping these people. There's so many people I could call. They'll be like, hey, can you show up to tomorrow's meeting? Who are multimillionaire process servers that own huge firms, Mike Kern, Robert Perombo, like I could go on for days, like of people who I know who've built companies that have went down the road you've been down before. And so when I would used to interview people all the time, I had those realizations. I kept having realizations of like when they were telling a story about their biggest struggle, I kept having realizations of like, I went through that. I could have, if I would have talked to him before, I would have already figured this out.
Mhm.
And so it's just fascinating to me that like if you have some type of a mastermind kind of situation like we have, then you can benefit big time if you
Oh,
understand how.
yeah. Yeah, when you show up, you can benefit. And
Yeah,
listen later. I listen to all the old ones, and I still benefit from them.
yeah. You go back and watch them.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe sometimes I don't put them in there, the replay. Sometimes I'm like, they probably don't. But maybe I should always put them in, huh?
I mean, at least I'm watching. I'm not going to watch myself again, but I watch others.
Oh, did you watch yourself?
No, I said I don't watch myself.
Yeah, you're like, maybe I won't watch that one.
No.
You experienced it live, so
Yeah.
that's funny. Cool, cool. Well, there's a couple things I was thinking we could go over today that we could talk about. I brought up judgment recovery if that was something people were interested in. And people are like, I didn't get some people were interested, some people not so much.
So is that like a bigger scale operation or it can be small?
You could do it small. You could actually just go and buy, um, you can just go and buy judgments. You don't have to reach out to folks. You can actually go and just find judgments.
Hmm. I watched, yeah, I think you did a video on that before.
Yeah, yeah. I partnered with a guy who was like an expert, judgment recovery expert. We were doing a class on it, and then he ended up being like a crazy person. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do this without you. You know. So, but yeah, you can go buy judgments. There's places that actually sell judgments where people are like, they get the judgment. They're like, I don't want to bother trying to collect it. I don't want to bother trying to collect it. So just I'll sell it to you for, 10%. Or sometimes not even that. Sometimes it's like it could be a $20,000 judgment. You could buy it for $50.
Hmm.
And if you find out the person has a job, you're gonna get your $50 back right away. You can only wait garnish wages up to like 25%. Every state's a little different though, and some states you actually can't. You gotta be very careful about the words you use, like collections or you know, you can't say you're gonna collect and then and you have to have a license to be a collection agent.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. It's so crazy, this computer. Like I have Zoom open. Speaker, yeah. Oh, there we go.
Did you see Charisma's writing in the chat?
Oh, Chris was saying something. Well, let me see. Yeah, I have this thing. Let me see. Chat. Where's the chat? Da-da-da. Okay, so I found this window. With Zoom, you have all these different windows. Let me see here. Keep on top, meetings, stop video. Da-da-da. Mute all, gallery view, show and manage participants. Oh, show chat. Here you go. Michigan, we garnish wage, garnish state income tax, and seize property. There you go. Oh, the logo on my shirt. Yeah, I usually only wear these when I go to conferences. I think you're talking about me. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, good stuff. So Jess, have you thought about doing the podcast and stuff? I don't know if I saw you schedule.
No, because I feel like I want to get to the goal first.
Have something to
You know,
talk
because I just joined the group last month. So,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, but I totally understand that. But you don't have to it's the experience, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes going through it, definitely don't push people to do that kind of thing because then you do it and it's not natural.
Hmm.
Then you don't feel right about it. Oh, exit full screen. That's what I needed to push this whole time. This whole time I've been staring at something other than Zoom. I've been trying to figure it out. And now I'm here, I'm back. How fun. So if you're watching the replay of this, you're like, what is happening? Oh man, I hurt my back lifting this smoker too, and so my lower back is all out of whack. I feel like an old person.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So yeah, we finding the opportunities with judgments is good. But sticking to your core offer is, it's the thing to do. It's if you're doing apostilles, like figuring out who else who else is getting that work now.
Yeah, I actually did already find a law firm, a family law firm, but they do international family law. So that's definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely finding that. And then if you're thinking long term, right? You're trying to build a business, like a big business. Who is the future family law firm person that you haven't met yet
Hmm.
that is just graduating college?
Yeah.
Because in 5 years, this is how it works. In 5 years, that person is going to be taking the majority of the work because they're hustling.
So, yeah, I had a question about that. Like, I did find some young attorneys, but they're working for other firms right now. So, would they really even be handling process serving? I mean, they'll just pass it on to the paralegal. So,
Exactly. So what you do is you make connections with the attorney. People always, and they're correct in thinking this, that paralegals are the ones to go after. They're correct in thinking that, but it's very short-term thinking, like transactional thinking. Like it'll work for sure. This is like the cold calling, right? Be your backup, stuff. But it's very transactional. Like if you can look at, for you specifically with the apostilles, look at those attorneys who you want to build relationships with and just invite them out to lunch. It's not going to be very many people. Literally, you're looking for that one or two people in that market who are going to go like, yeah, sure. What do you do? Well, actually, I find people. I'm an apostille, but I find people. I collect on judgments if anyone ever owes you money, and that's what I do. That's my specialty. Something like that. And then they're going to be like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, I'd love to pick your brain about this or that. Just building relationships. Like I actually, when I built the majority of my business, I didn't even know about relationships. It happened by accident, and I talk about it. You probably heard me talk about it because I was flirting with them. And so like I'd have relationships, because I wanted to date them, right? And so it
Hmm.
wasn't about business, it was about me wanting to date some of the paralegals. And it just happened to be that they were cool people and we had a good time and they, and I was a gentleman and all this. And so they would send me so much work before other people because I would show up for them on a personal level, like as a friend,
Hmm.
and buying them stuff and coffee and things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit more, but if your intention is similar but business related, like I'd love to take you out for lunch and pick your brain about, family law or whatever their specialty is. I love to pick your brain about this because I do service the legal industry. And I know I could learn something from you, and I'm happy to take you to Ruth's Chris or one of the fancy restaurants, right? Uh, and that might cost you a little bit of money, but that relationship will pay you
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
forever. And here's the other thing. If you take them out and they're just a complete jerk, and there's somebody who clearly is just full of themselves, it's going to be a negative experience, which sucks, of course. But now you know.
Hmm.
And you're like, but why? Oh, back to the paralegal thing. So, but why would I court them and try to build a relationship with them when it's the paralegals? Because they will tell the paralegal, I want you to use Jessica. Now, if they work for a bigger firm and they don't have that kind of decision-making power, then they will in the future.
Hmm.
When they for sure will in the future. And I'm saying this from experience. Like I know because I had these people would go off on their own. And it was so strange because I didn't realize it in the beginning, but then I started realizing it. One would come in, a new one would come in, and they'd be like, "Oh, nice to meet you." And he's like focusing on criminal law, but he's with a family law office, but he wants to do criminal. And they're like, so they bring on a whole criminal division, and then before you know it, he's branching off and doing his own criminal defense attorney. And I'd only get one or two jobs from him every so often. He was like, I think it was Middle Eastern, um, and what's his? I'm drawing a blank on his name now. Oh yeah, I called him Haji. Haji, he was
Hmm.
like it was like Hazien or whatever. But he was like really tall and he was just the coolest guy.
Hmm.
He was like into jujitsu and karate and stuff like that too. And and I remember going to visit his office. We got a new office in one of the northern cities, Red Bluff, and he pretty much just dominated that whole. He was right across from the courthouse. He did criminal law. Just seeing him go from a guy who's like barely handling cases, working for this bigger firm, and then go on and off on his own. And then I was there through that whole thing, like
Hmm.
built a friendship with him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that it's possible. I'm sure it's possible in every town. It's a matter of finding the personalities that you can talk to and build friendships with and be a part of that community. Like I could have done it so much better. I know some people that I've heard them talk about where they built friendships with the judges, and the judges where they wanted to do for family law, where if your focus is like family law, then you can build it up where all the attorneys know you and they're asking you to come in and testify for whatever, your experience while you were with serving this person or whatever. And one of the services I know someone offers is uh what is it called? Child custody visitation supervisor.
Supervision. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you do that, then you'll be called in to testify quite a bit.
Hmm.
Like on the behalf on the for a good thing. Like, you know what? No, I was there. The dad was fine. He actually presented himself in a very likable way. He was good with the kids. And so the judge will see you come in and constantly testifying. I think there's so much value in that
Oh
because now,
yeah.
yeah, because then the judge is seeing you and he's like, you know what? Um, and then there's going to come a time though where you're going to testify and you're going to go, it started off well, but then he seemed to get very aggressive when the child, didn't want to play with him. He was like forcing him to play with him. It got a little bit physical. And so we ended the session early. Like saying the hard truth, judge gets to see you say that. So I know a guy, Kenny in Texas. He ended up transitioning his entire process serving business to just visitation. They like built a big old facility, had a bunch of a game room with a bunch of games in it, like arcades and stuff. And then all the judges knew him, and so they would actually say, "Okay, I'm mandating that your visitation is going to be done at this place." And I remember when I went through my divorce, there wasn't a place like that. There'd be some random person who would show up at the park, with a clipboard and watch you play with your kids. It was the weirdest thing. So to
Yeah.
have like a structured facility where you could do it would be so much, it would be so beneficial. Just like another business idea that you could, and and probably the father, unfortunately, but but they would have to pay, they would pay you
Oh
directly.
yeah. Yeah, it's not cheap to have
Yeah.
visitation.
Yeah. So yeah, that's exciting though. That's exciting. I mean, it sounds like you put in the work from what you were telling me with the calling the attorneys and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm also a volunteer guardian ad litem for foster kids in the court system. So I know my name is like passing through, and because the judges rotate, right? So I'm sure like eventually I'll get that momentum going.
Hmm. Yeah, part of it too is letting your personality show.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have one. I see it.
Yeah, little.
Yeah, yeah. As you grow your business and you're this business person, it sounds like you're doing some stuff, especially with apostate. A lot of people underestimate the value of notaries. You know, just like or adding that as a service in their business, like just like people need somebody to be served sometimes. Having the ability to do notary. I can't tell you how many times I served an attorney for another attorney, and while I'm in there serving that attorney, the paralegal's like, "Hey, are you also a notary?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, could you notarize something for us? Boom, go out and get my thing, come back in. The one challenge with notaries is they didn't pay very much, but if you do a specialty, right, like apostilles or loan signing,
Hmm.
you can actually
Yeah,
make some pretty good
can
money.
branch into all that.
Yeah. Do you do loan
Yeah.
signings too?
No, actually, I don't do, I'm just like a courier for that apostille thing. So I pick up the certified copies at the courthouse. I take it to the Secretary of State. They stamp it and I'm done. And I mail it to the client.
Nice, nice. So
Yeah.
you're not a certified apostille person that
No, I
actually
don't have to do anything. That's awesome. That's
that's
why I
even
like it.
that's even better. That's great. That's great. Yeah, and you're up in the middle of, Washington, right?
Yeah, on the coast. Yep.
You're like I was gonna say the middle of nowhere, but it's not really. I
No,
just
we're
think
in by the city.
when I think of Washington or Oregon or any of that, it's kind of funny because it's like it's like people used to talk about California, be like how is it living on the beach? I'm like, have you ever been to California?
Right.
Like beaches literally only make up 10% of the state, if that. Like you have Yosemite National Park, all the parks, Northern California, all the trees, it's basically all forest up north.
Mm-hmm.
And down south is basically just more Nevada, you know,
Mm-hmm.
more Nevada
Desert.
spread across. Yeah. And then you get to Los Angeles, it's still not great.
Mm-hmm.
You get all the buildings everywhere, and then you get to the beach. And the only nice beach that is really like enjoyable is basically Carmel. I went down to Carmel and I was like, I went my honeymoon down there with my ex-wife, and Clint Eastwood owns a restaurant there. It's a famous restaurant because he owns it, I guess. But Carmel is pretty much you have to go down to Carmel before you start to hit nice beaches, and then if you keep going down from there, Los Angeles, San Diego, then the beaches are all nice down there. But pretty much north of Carmel, which is like pretty far south, it's all
Mm-hmm.
cold. The water is freezing. Like the beach.
Oh no, you would never know that if you didn't live there. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, Carmel's way far south. Like, so San Francisco there's no beach. It's all just docks, and sea lions. I think there's sea lions. So yeah, finding business, and you got some stuff going on this week. I I with your website, you did some revisions.
Yeah, I'm editing the copy, all the text and some of the images. So,
So
yeah.
you have, if you're a little more hands-on and you like want a lot of specific things done, she does
Hmm.
have the ability to give you access to edit
Oh,
yourself.
yeah, I might need to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, she can do it because she does a great design and she'll do it. But when it comes to like
Yeah.
words you're gonna do for SEO purposes and stuff, you can log in and I think she may already be able to, but it's basically the only reason she doesn't give it to everyone is because when I built it and I started doing it, I would give it to everyone. Like, oh, just go make a edit. If you want to make the edit, great. If you don't, I'll do it. But people would mess up their sites so bad. They would try to move a section or whatever, and it would completely destroy it.
Hmm.
So, and I'm talking about like almost every time. So
Yeah, I
she
understand.
was, she was like, process servers don't need to edit through. But if you're someone who wants to do that, you can go and add, go in and add text, take out content.
Yeah, I've been doing that. I can't move like boxes and stuff, so she's gonna do that, but I'm doing the tech stuff.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're patient with her, like you give her some time, she'll definitely she'll get it done because she's been great. She's been a huge blessing because because for me, I would knock it out and just say, well, if you don't like it, make some changes.
Hmm.
But I also used to charge, $3,000 and I would set it up but now we charge much less and she wants to do the edits. She just believes in good customer service. So I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Are you the one that's gonna do the SEO on mine, or is
Yeah,
that
yeah. Well,
okay?
what I do is I tell her have everyone schedule with me. So we
Okay.
can do a call and I'll do a free call like or included in the setup. And basically we just look at your competition because that's how you really do SEO. See your competition and see where they're ranking and make it a goal to beat them. And your on-page SEO is what we like will dial in for you, what I'll dial in for you. But we have some AI tools to do it. But moving forward, the best like what you really got to make sure to focus on is like your blog. With your blog posts, you can use ChatGPT and stuff like that to get you 90% of the way there. But you have to really dial in, like that's why I say you look at your competitors and see are they coming out with blog posts? Are they coming out with and so that's why I'm starting this online directory because I never did it because I always thought like it's going to take so much work to create all these pages and do all this stuff. But then I realized if I'm going to do this and help process servers, the best way I can help is to rank this directory locally and then make it affordable for them to, you know. So essentially, I'll be competing with your website locally as a directory. But
Hmm.
if you locally are on my directory, then you'll still show up, right? So that's the idea.
Hmm.
You just have to do exactly the same thing, but just in your area. See, I'm trying to do it on a national scale. Every single county, city, and state will be on my website with the rules and laws and all this, because that's what people search for. They say, well, how do I become a process server? How do I, or why would a process server be looking for me? Questions like that. If you answer those questions, you're going to rank. Just like
Hmm.
I think you were on when I was showing Brandon on call legals thing. It said, why would a process server be looking for me? I never thought about that one, but that's one that people will definitely search for. But again, that's also like down the list further. That's not, the three sections. I'm sure you've watched me talk about that. That's actually the last section. That's like long-term game. Like hopefully one day we'll rank first. And you just keep plugging away. You keep creating content once a week. You make another blog post that serves Google and I guess ChatGPT now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to change. It's going to keep changing over time. Technology changes. But having your Google My Business page dialed in is the most important.
Yeah, for sure.
And then if they click on your website because they want to learn more, it looks professional. Yeah, and with the website too, I'll just say if you're anything like me, which it seems like you kind of are, you want things to be just dialed in a certain way. That's how I was. I was like, I want to change this, I want to change that. You'll never be done. You'll never be
No,
done.
I know that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So
I have levels, like,
yeah, yeah. So you'll never
yeah.
be done. So being able to just have a starting point where it's like, okay, this looks professional. Now let me dial it in from there. That's the key. And then over time you'll find yourself, you know what, actually maybe I do want to put on here courier. And just stick with me through that process and I'll help you because I've been through where I have 7 different domains. Now I have thousands of domains. But I would have 7 different domains for the same business just because I had different services. I thought I had to have different domain. No.
Mhm.
You just have your one business name. Think about I don't know if Apple's a great example because they sell products. What's this service company like? You could do like a waste management company, I guess, because it's like a service. They have the thing that comes picks up your trash can. If you're a restaurant, that guy's not coming to pick your thing up. It's a whole different thing that picks up a giant dumpster, right? And has the hooks, right? But do they create a whole different business that's like hook garbage cans?
Right.
No, it's just still waste management, right? So that's what you want to do, legal services, or what did you call it? WA pro se. I like how it rhymes. WA pro se.
Yeah, I
Process.
mean, it could mean whatever you connect. If it could mean process server, it could mean pro se. Like, I'm kind of aiming at both pro se for process serving. So,
So with the rules, the rules for in marketing for naming your company that I heard that have stuck with me that I don't like them, but they ring true, is that you when you're creating a name, you can be creative and you can be clear about things. But if you have to choose between one or the other, you got to choose clear.
hmm.
Yeah, so if you're gonna name a company and I don't know I can't think of a good example right now, but like if you're gonna name a company something, just make sure they know what it is.
Hmm.
Oh, if it's WA, that's cool. That's like the brand part of it, like Mighty, I guess, right? And then process serving or legal
Hmm.
services or whatever it is, if it's if Pro Se is a part of the branding, then it's WA Pro Se process serving, right?
Right.
Or
Yep.
WA Pro Se legal services, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a whole thing. So I'm um I'm not sure. Are you once your website's done, are you interested in doing like a blog post?
For the website. Oh, for you?
Yeah, for let me see if I can share it real quick so everybody can see. Yeah, okay, good. Like, did I lose Zoom again? Let me see. All right. Share. There we go. So here we go. So I'll probably take my face off there eventually, but right now it's like personal branded, right? So I'm gonna eventually have everybody's company set up here where they're the premium listings, right? You have
Hmm.
testimonials, FAQs. And so what I'd like to do is instead of it won't be really blog posts, it'll actually be articles. So under resources, like I've started adding stuff. So like if you're already a member of Mighty Process Servers on school, then you'll be able to just click calendar, it'll take you straight to it, which is pretty cool. And then like I put on here all of my road trips. So when I go to the different conferences, if people want to meet up, we can meet up. Yeah, I'll be in California. I bought this RV, this cool RV, and so it basically has everything. I could live in it.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just for like a month, I'm just gonna travel and
There you go.
yeah, do the Zoom meetings from there. We're gonna do a 9/11 Freedom. I'm calling it the Freedom event here at my house.
Hmm.
So people that want to come. I got a lot of local people too that veterans and stuff like that I know from my church and stuff that we're gonna do like a flag retirement ceremony and stuff.
Cool.
That'd be cool. So yeah, people can get listed. But anyway, creating something for your local area under resources. I'm gonna have different states. I think I was showing you guys the other day. Where's it at? You come down here and you click. Let's see if it's ready. Let's see. Somewhere in here. You have where you can become a process server. I have it linked in here somewhere. Here we go. So yeah, we're still working on it. The girls are building this out. But essentially, all these states are going to be tied to data, right? And so some of it'll be process serving data, some of it'll be local blog posts, basically like articles from locals, and they're going to be tied to the person's listing. So if I go to the directory, right, these are just a few companies, just me, my company, and Jeff, and this is like an ad basically. And so everybody's company will be on here. But if somebody clicks on your company, the idea that they can come and request a quote, but also like up here at the top, if you have an interview, if I have an interview with you, I'm actually going to throw the video in right here on the top and push this down. And you'll be able to see that they'll be able to see your interview. They'll be able to see your, if there's an article that you wrote, they can click on it, read the articles from this contributor. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I
Yep.
think that would be really cool. And then also it'll link back to your website, right? So you'll have those backlinks as this grows, as this directory becomes more prominent, it'll help your website. That's my goal too, is to help
Hmm.
your website rank with this being a top tier process serving search. And I've debated whether to do this as a little bit of a risk for me, but having like where I truly vet every single person that comes into the community that's on the directory. If someone like requests a quote, they use you through the directory and you don't perform and you don't communicate with them, then I talk to you and other people, whoever it is, about it. There'll be a process, a arbitration and grievance process, just like NAPS does. But this is not just with other NAPS members. This is with anyone who uses the directory.
Hmm.
If it doesn't work out and you're unwilling to give a refund and make it right, then I just remove you from the directory. Like it's
Okay.
like,
Yep.
yeah, like I think that's fair. Like it's like when you're a brand new company, this is hard pill to swallow because it's like I can't, to be honest, that 99 bucks I charged him, I bought groceries with, right? So I understand. I get that. And so a part of me is like, but in order to truly run a business, you have to have some reserves and you have to understand the concept of giving a refund. If you don't and you're still in the place where you're like, I'll never give a refund, then you're not ready for this directory, right? You're just not ready to be on listed and live up to the level that I'm looking for.
Hmm.
I want people to know that the quickest way to deal with an angry customer is to give them a refund. That's the quickest way. You could try other ways first, but if they keep going with like, well, bad reviews this, bad reviews that, okay, listen, I'm so sorry. We've already paid the other server. We've already put effort in ourselves. What if we just gave you a refund? Would that work out for you? Oh yeah. Watch them completely 180 their personality or their attitude and just go away. And so the way I look at it, and anyone I know that's doing this at a high level, they see it the same way. They're like, you know what? It's you're buying your time back because the time and stress that you're gonna put into dealing with this person, the next couple, same thing with websites. If somebody gets crazy with me with websites, I'm like, it's only happened once, but I'm like, you know what? You can have your money back and you're dead to me. Like, don't ever talk to me again. Like,
Hmm.
I don't want to. And it's been so peaceful not having that person in my life. It's been a few years and I have never thought about them until just now. So a little
Yeah,
depressed.
it's nice to be able to choose who you deal with.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm trying to integrate both the website and the training stuff. So I gotta fix that. Classroom should go to this one. But yeah. But yeah, that's the goal is I'm going to integrate the directory with the online platform so that everybody can get the training they need and keep going. I'm excited about these ones. Affiliate network is going to be the first one that I put out, but I've also been debating whether to charge monthly for this or have a premium. Either that, what I was thinking about doing is just leaving this free and just charging for the classes and then giving the classes for free to anybody who is in the directory.
Hmm.
I haven't decided yet. Part of me just wants to make everything for free so we get everyone to join. Like I just want more participation, right? But process servers, they tend to, it's a generalization, I know, but process servers tend to just treat it like a part-time job, like a part-time thing that they're looking to replace and I get it. I get it. But it would be better if you looked at it more like a business.
Yeah, I've added up all my monthly expenses. It's like 800 now. So I need to bring in my income to make that look like a smaller number, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, $800, that's not a low amount. Like if for a process server, you got, I guess your process serving software, you got your marketing. What you want to avoid, in my opinion, is the ones where you can't really track it. So like if you're running marketing ads on Google and you're spending, three, four, $500 a month on that, and you're like, maybe you get some leads. There's certain things that I did tried and I don't recommend doing until you're making about $10,000 a month, and that is Google Ads. I would not run Google. Are you running Google Ads?
No.
I wouldn't run Google Ads. Definitely not Facebook ads or YouTube ads. And local marketing. The return on doing like what they call a bandit sign, like a $20 bandit sign that you basically is a business card with stakes on the giant business card with stakes at the bottom that you can just stake into the ground. Oh man, I've gotten so many calls from like you do a couple bandit signs and you can if you buy 100 of the 100 bandit signs in real estate, it's a big thing, right? If you do 100 bandit signs, you could probably get away with spending about $300-400, like $3 each.
What would you write on it? Because I feel like most people don't know what a process server is.
Until they need one, right?
Yeah.
So people see process server and they don't know what it is. They're like, cool, I don't know. They just ignore it.
Hmm.
But when they go to the courthouse or when they file their papers and then they leave the courthouse, that's the struggle too. Like a lot of stuff is online in California, a lot of stuff went online. But if you're in a state where they don't have it, they don't do everything, like it's not required for you to file online, then I would highly recommend getting like two or three signs and putting them on the way out of the courthouse. Because when they leave the courthouse, 100% of the time they're told, okay, it's filed. Now you need to serve it. What's that? What do you mean? You have to either to use a sheriff or hire a process server. And so your sign could say, you know, don't use the sheriff, sheriff is busy doing other things, hire a process server. I don't know. You have to
Right.
test it. You have to test it out. But if you really decide to go down that route, which I did, and I got a lot of business from it, a lot of pro says, which is good because they leave you reviews and they pay a premium. They never have to hire a process server. So when they do have to hire one, they hope it's a professional that's going to do it right. That just like the courthouse is all official and stuff, that you're all official and stuff, that you're the one that's going to do it. So they'll pay $200. Yeah, all day long they'll pay $200. So, put your that's why your website rates should be your most expensive rates, in my opinion. There's different ways to look at it, and different levels where you would change it levels depending on the level of your business, where you're at in your business. But if you're doing well, then the best way to do it is put the website rates being your most expensive rates. And then just put call for special rates. Attorneys, law firms and attorneys call for special rate. And you're going to get more calls, but then that's when you sell them. Those are sales calls. That's
Mhm.
that's why you do it like that, because then when they call, they already have an anchor for how much it's going to cost. 147 is what I have. So when they call and I tell them it's only 97, they're going to save almost $50. They're like, "Oh wow." Like, yeah, well, attorneys are the ones, you guys know what you're doing, right? So you deserve a discount. They're like, "Oh, okay. Where do I send it?" There's no question. It's like, yeah, where do I send it? And then it's actually true too. Like they know what they're doing and they're going to send me a bunch of work,
Mhm.
you know? So that's how I do it. But I do remember when I wasn't getting a whole lot of, I wanted everyone to call me. So I didn't put my rates on the website. And so, but I didn't realize there's a lot of people, if they don't find your rate, they just don't call you. They just go to the next person.
That's how I am.
Are you?
Yeah, I need to see it. Like, what if you don't put it? What are you hiding? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But people will argue with you like, well, no, that's not right. That's how you are. Like, you can't argue with it. Oh, no, Jessica's not that way. That's how you are. So you can speak with authority that if I was looking and I have this feeling of like, what are you hiding? Someone else does too.
Mhm.
It's not to say everyone, but someone does, someone else does.
It's like somebody selling something on Facebook. Oh, send me a message for a price. Why is everybody asking you what the price is? Just tell us.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, yeah, or people will, yeah. I'm just like, just be upfront. I love the ones on Facebook where they're like, just friend me. And then you do this big old paragraph. Send me a friend request. You could have sent me a friend request instead of sending this giant paragraph.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun with building this thing out, and I like seeing people like you that are taking action, that are showing up, and Jeff was my show up to every meeting guy, and now he's got a little bit of the stuff he needs, and he's like he came for what he needed, and now he's sending it off to his son. He's dealing with all that stuff. And so it's cool to see people come in, then they take action, they get what they need, and then they go. But my goal eventually is to build it up to where, we have, a couple hundred people that regularly show up that have, more of like maybe a social hour, and then we kind of rein it back in and say, hey, all right, what are we going to get done today? You know,
Mhm.
because what I want to get done today is I'm going to get some of the affiliate course done, and I'm going to I meet with the girls at 10 and give them direction on building the website. I'm really excited about this website getting Mighty Process Server getting to start ranking indexed on Google, because there's no other people that ServeNow is the only one that's come close, and they sold, and they're kind of not doing it now. So I know they're not definitely not promoting it. They're just kind of managing it while they figure out what to do with it.
Mhm.
They might even sell it to me.
There you go.
Wouldn't
It's
that
your
be fun?
time. Step up.
Wouldn't that be funny? Buy serve now. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they got quite a few users, and so there's definitely an opportunity in the market. So we'll get the directory ranking in every city in the country. It might take about a year, 3 to 6 months definitely to get started, and then a year before you start seeing it rank like first on Google. But once that happens, it's going to be like a snowball. There's going to be a lot of people coming in trying to figure things out, and then going out, go make some money, come back. So I'm interested to know, do you have this event that you're sponsoring? You're going, of course.
I'm not.
You're not gonna go?
No, it does I got the lowest level of sponsorship. So my logo is like on the whole of the golf course. You have to buy a ticket to go.
Oh.
Um, I'm not doing that. I'm not that
Is it
level
a
yet.
paralegal? What is it? A paralegal event? What is it?
A bar association for my county.
Oh, the bar association.
Yeah. So, and I'm giving a raffle prize, which is a same day service and a same day courier. And then I'm doing a silent auction item, two of them. One is service of process at custody exchange, and the other one is the on demand. So,
Very nice, very
yeah.
nice.
It's just my time, the sponsoring the hole was like 250 and then the rest is just my time. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
how much is the ticket? Is it stupid?
Oh, yeah, it was like a couple hundred. I was like, and you have to golf. I don't have anyone to go with me to take, that load off of me. So, maybe next year. We'll see.
You know what you do in the future. Yeah. Think about it in the future. Make friends with someone who's really good at golf
Yeah,
and then have them wear your shirt.
right.
Have them wear your shirt and have them just beat everybody. And they're like, isn't that your company? Because it's just funny how that works. And they're
Hmm.
all standing around talking about this hole or that hole, and they're like, I've tried to be good at golf. It's just not my thing. I like tennis. They call them the rich people sports, so you can't deny them.
Hmm.
Tennis, right? Badminton, I guess. Golf, 100%. These are rich people sports. If you could see somebody playing it with gray hair in Florida, then it's a rich person sport. Bingo, maybe. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, that's great. I love that. So what I was gonna say is if you're gonna go, one thing that's really good to do with those events, if you're gonna sponsor them, and it makes them want you to come back every year, they don't forget you if you do this, is you bring a photographer out who like one of these real estate photographers who have a drone and you have them do the drone pilot stuff. So while you're out there golfing, if you were doing golf, while you're out there golfing and hitting the ball, he's getting the shot from up here, he's getting the shot from here. And while he's getting you golfing, he's getting everyone else golfing. He's getting the event when everybody's like hugging and happy and smiling.
Right.
He's got the drone, he's got the thing. And they have their own too, but it adds an element of like of celebrity, like which is silly, but it's true. It's like this what's this who's this person with a person following around with a camera? What is it? And they
Right.
don't know.
Brings you some attention.
Yeah, they don't know. So they're like, is this, do I know, who do I not know here?
Right.
This is Princess
Take it
that,
till you make it.
yeah, yeah. Well, and it's funny because you're not even really doing that either. You're just saying, I want to get this footage of what I'm doing. Like you look at, Gary V,
Mm-mm.
Gary Vaynerchuk. He's actually a marketing guy who is in New York, and his job is pretty boring actually. Because he owns the business VaynerMedia. And so he speaks now a lot. He's become famous in the business world because he talks about just grind and hustle culture. And he's the one that wrote the book Jab, 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 Right Hook for marketing. Like basically jabbing is just giving them value, 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 and then your thing, value, 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 and then your thing. So, but he hired a guy because he was like, well, I'm running out of content. I need to put out like 100 pieces a day. And so he hired a guy, D-Rock, he calls him. I don't know if that's his name. He calls him D-Rock. And D-Rock just follows him around with a camera all over New York. He'll go to a lunch here with, I mean, he's like the marketing guy for like PG&E, or power companies and Nike, and like he does this kind of stuff. And so he's a pretty high level guy. So he's got them following him around, going all over. What the person, what's her name? She owns the Honest Company. She owns
Jessica
HelloFresh.
Alba. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She went and met with him, and so D-Rock got them on camera, like meeting, and celebrities get excited and take a picture with him, but most people don't know him unless they've ever tried to market their business. When they
Hmm.
so anyway, he talks about putting out tons of content of the behind the scenes stuff. You might be like, why do I want anyone to see my kid and my thing I'm doing, or get embarrassed a little bit. As a parent, we're like trying to always be like keep things in order. But when people see that and they relate to it because they have a kid too, or whatever, whatever the situation is, right? Then they actually feel closer to you and they actually are more likely to buy from you, subscribe to you, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So this thing you have on your head, what is this called?
Hijab.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's unique to you,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
unique to you. So having you talk about it in not as crazy, some settings it's like, it's taboo to talk about anything religious, right? But for you to talk about it in your own channel, in your own thing, doing your, you know, that's
Mm-hmm.
unique. And anybody
Yeah.
who has, I have a friend, her name is Arsla, she's from Pakistan, and she was like a princess there. She's a obviously there's not a kingdom there, but her father's like a governor over a certain area, and she and like 12 other daughters or whatever, they lived in this like castle, like that's kind of like a castle, and they have servants and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
now she lives in America, and she's like, I'm the servant.
Yeah. It's
She's
much
like, no,
different.
yeah. She's like, I have kids and a husband, and now I'm the servant. How did this happen? And she's really funny, and so I've seen her wear those a few times, and it's really cool if that's your faith, and that's it's an outward expression of your inner commitment
Mm-hmm.
to things that you're doing. And I'm Mormon, and so we have those things as well, in different ways. But that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
sharing
gonna
that.
ask you, is like you doing this for free and stuff, is that do you have to do like that kind of service or is that when they're younger?
Yeah, I know. So service, as a Mormon missionary, you would go preach. You go to some other place and you would preach. I'm a convert to the church, so I didn't join until I was 26. But like my sons, they're preparing themselves to go on a mission, and it's very specifically related to preaching about God.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not, but that's interesting. Yeah, no, giving stuff away for free is actually very selfish. It's a very, very selfish marketing tool that you use to. Well, initially I did it because I knew I had so many process servers that followed me from when I started my business. Because I would go live on Facebook every day. And I've shut down the page that I used to use. I wish I didn't because I had so much video content on there, process server daily. And I would daily process and I would go live about it and talk about it. You know, and so that was just honestly because I was bored serving papers, and I'd be doing surveillance, and I'd want to, teach people, and I felt good about helping people. And when I would go to these conferences, I had some of the old guys come up to me, and they've been in the business forever. They're like, "I like your podcast," and I was like, at the time I didn't have a podcast. I was just making these videos, and I was like, "Thanks. What's it called? What podcast? What whatever. I forget what I said." They're like, "No, where you make the videos, on Facebook. My wife shows them to me." And I'm like, "Oh, and so we talked about it. And I had one guy tell me, he goes, old timer that's really good with marketing for his time. And he's like, you should put them on your website. Don't make it free. Put them on your website. Charge for it." And I was like, really? You think people would want to buy that? And he's like, yes, 100%. He's like, you're giving away so much value. And I never did, but recently I had a friend who I was might going to go in business with. He's like, you're giving away everything for free. He goes, this is the stuff that I paid someone $10,000 to learn how to build our business. It's like a software that he's going to promote. I think if people just understand the basics of marketing and sales and marketing, and they can achieve so much. If you understand that you have a service, you're a local service-based company like a courier, like a trucking company that picks up a load and drops it off. Like that's essentially what we're doing. We're just getting paid a premium to do it. It's just a piece of paper or a
Mhm.
few pieces of paper. You're getting paid a premium to go serve it. How do you get in front of the people who need that service uh, today, right? Because you might get in front of someone, like you said, but they don't know what a process server is, right? They don't know what a process server is, so they're going to not call you. So it's a question of getting in front of them when they need you. And so the only people I know, maybe you know somebody different, real estate people for like evictions, judgments from people who, if you want to do judgment recovery, And then just collection agencies, divorce attorneys, anyone attorney related probably that does litigation. So now that you know who it is you need to reach out to, now it's like, what are the ways that you can reach out to them? You can do like Alex Hormozy talks about. You can do cold outreach where you actually call them or email them, but they don't know you, so they may not even pay attention to you. You can call people that you do know who are in that business, ask for referrals. And then you can do what paid ads and then free online traffic, which is social media. That's it. There's no other way, So once you know those elements, it's like, okay, which one do I want to do? What do you do if you have a big company? You do paid ads because it takes none of your time, only money, and you will get results from it. You will get people to eventually call you if you're running Google ads. This is how ABC and Proof and all these guys, this is how they've been able to scale. They don't even have great online SEO. They just pay for ads. So just figure out what works for you. If you're bootstrapping your business, you don't have money to pay for ads, well, then guess what? Cold outreach is one thing I know that nobody that I know before I started doing it was doing it. Even the big players, they would sponsor paralegal events. They would sponsor events like that, and people would. It's kind of like cold outreach in a way, or warm outreach. Ask people you know in the legal industry for a referral. That's essentially what you're doing when you do that. Hey. All right. Oh, it looks like, wow, an hour went by already. Who's Joshua? So that's it for today. I let him in. Good morning, Josh. How you doing, buddy?
Has he been waiting?
No, just
Oh,
kidding. Hey, Josh, can you hear me?
Hey, what's going
So
on?
that's it for today.
Oh,
Oh, you got me on YouTube too. Good morning, Josh. How you doing, buddy?
good. You?
Um,
has he
I
been
think I
waiting?
think you got YouTube going somewhere.
1 second.
I'm like hearing myself.
That better?
Yeah, I don't hear it. I don't hear it. How's it going?
It's going good. You?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. We're just wrapping up right now. We started an hour ago, but how,
Gotcha.
how's it going in your business? Where are you located?
Tennessee, near Nashville.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. How long you been in the business?
I started in California in 2016, was there about 8 years, and we moved here in 2020. Now, the two states are very different with their laws.
What part of California were you in?
The Bay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were just talking about that too, about the beaches. People talk about California beaches being nice. I'm like, not take it down to Carmel or something like that. So that's
I
cool.
like the Santa Cruz area beaches. They're pretty good.
Yeah, but not for the water. Like you're pretty much doing a cold plunge at that point, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's for the beach, not for the water. I
Yeah.
don't go in the water.
Yeah, I took on. Yeah, exactly. So cool. So Tennessee, you've been doing it for a while. And in Tennessee, you built up a good client base, or are you just getting going?
It's tough. It's real cutthroat around here. It's very different. There's a lot of undercutting. The big box companies, they have a lot of work. I mean, I made 84 grand with ABC Legal last year, and I can't drop them because I make so much with them, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I gotten some small clients. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe 10-15% of my income comes from my business, so it's a little chunk. Definitely trying to get that to grow a bit, but yeah, I've been seeing your stuff for a while, and just it's tough for me to have the time to do this. So
Yeah. Well, if you make the time, then you'll have the time. That's what I
yeah,
always.
I just put Provest a couple weeks ago, so that's gonna save me some time.
I would tell you when it comes to affiliates, they're the poison pill that you take because you have to in the beginning. But if you watch the videos inside the training program, like have you watched the 90-day challenge?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, so the 90-day challenge, I within the first couple videos, I know they're long videos, but you hear me cold call attorneys and the script I use and what I do, how I do it. And I was able to build a brand new process serving company here in Albuquerque in like, I think it was like 15 days, and that makes $10,000 a month. And now I just farm it out to other people. Um, and I know it's probably not that easy, like necessarily in every single area. There's different elements. Here in New Mexico, in particular, there's um just nobody wants to work. So I think it was easy pickings, you know. But there's also different elements. So I have a question. Do you, Joshua, do you go by Josh or Joshua? Probably Joshua.
Just Josh.
Oh, Josh. So do you look at your business as are you a process server
Yeah,
or do you own a business?
both.
Both? Okay. Because process serving is just one element of your
Yeah.
business. You could do notary services, you could do judgment recovery, you could do, and so I don't know you that well, Joshua, so forgive me, but
I haven't dipped into any specific market yet. I've been told that I should pick a specific market, and I know someone told me Memphis has like 50,000 unserved child support cases, so I may look into that.
no, for real. Is Memphis the closest area to you? Are you in Memphis?
No, I'm near Nashville, so but it's like 3 hours away. But I know some companies, that have a lot of servers there, so it's just more of, getting the contract.
And have you thought about a career in country music?
You do not want to hear me sing.
Nashville, man, you're there. You're already there. Um, yeah, that's funny. So judgment recovery is what I always go back to for people. Because when you do process serving, the general public that has a debt they need collected on, like it's already been went through the process, the judge stamped a thing saying that person owes that person money, you need to pay them. Most of the time you think, well, I won the case, I get paid. No. No, somebody has to put a levy on the account, on their bank account, wage garnishment, something like that. So you don't have to be an expert in that, but understanding how it works, you could help so many people. So just like if you want to diversify as a process server and be able to show up to a business networking meeting where you're trying to get new business, the ability to say, if someone owes you money, I can help is so powerful because everyone, I went to a BNI meeting here, or in California one time, actually, Northern California. Went to the Bay Area Wealth Builders in San Francisco. Michael Marangiello was his name, and he invited me as a skip tracer. You know, it's like I'm a processor. He's like, well, what's that? Well, we like find people. We do skip tracing. He's like, oh, skip tracing, real estate. They're big on skip tracing. He goes, I
Yeah.
was looking for you to come and speak about that. And so I came and spoke, and then afterwards, they were every single person lined up to talk to me. All these investors lined up to talk about. Well, what the guy owes me, 4 grand, and I'm like, have you gotten a judgment yet? What's that? So these people are so far removed from what it is to actually collect on the debt that you could be the person and you could learn as you go and you can make money. So that's one idea. And
Is that debt collection or is that different?
no, debt collection is where someone owes you money and you're going to call and call and call and try to collect the debt. You don't want to do that. You can do
I
that.
mean, I mean actually serving the document itself.
Yeah, you would serve when you do the actual judgment part of it. So let's say that there's a judgment. There's different processes, but if there's a judgment already, then you can take that judgment, attach a writ of execution, either for just like with evictions, right? You can attach a writ. Every state might call something a little bit different, but the idea is the same. You could do a writ of execution for eviction if it was for property. You can do a writ of execution to the bank where they actually will do where you attach a levy to the account where you'll actually levy the account of whatever the amount is. And if the amount's not in there, then it won't take it. And so it'll kick it back or whatever. So what people will do is they'll have multiple dollar amounts for their levy. This is like a mini class in it, I guess, but there's multiple things you can do. You can attach a lien to the property that they own. Like
Right.
there's so many, and I'm thinking about doing a class on this and like teaching people about it because I guess I'm not an expert. I don't call myself an expert in this, but I do know all about it. And I actually have bought judgments, and then went and collected on them. You know, you buy a judgment for $50, it's 20 grand. And then you could go and collect the 20 grand or put a lien on their property. So one day when they do sell it, you're going to get 20 grand.
Hmm.
Right. Even though it's somebody else's debt, but they have no idea how to collect on it.
Right.
Yeah. So you can buy it for pennies on the dollar. Some people, what they do too, if they do it as a career, they will partner with the person so they don't have to pay up front. So they'll partner with the person and say, I will collect 50%. I'll give you 50, you give me the other 50%. And that's more common in judgment recovery. But I wanted to ask you about if once you do the 90, you watch the 90-day challenge videos. I think I call it basic training now inside the course.
Is that on the old YouTube channel or the new one?
It's on the Mighty Process server one, but it's actually inside the community. Let me just put it. Actually, if you go to, I'll put it in the chat here. If you go to mightyprocessserver.com, yeah, if you go to mightyprocessserver.com, that'll take you to it. You just click on classroom. It'll actually take you to the school platform, and then you just click on classroom once you've joined. It's still free, so yeah, you
Cool.
just go in there and watch them, and then yeah, and then if you show up, I'm gonna do this at Monday through Thursdays every week for a little while until I figure out exactly what people need, and then I'm doing the directory, launch the directory, and so that's gonna cost money in the future, but I'm gonna start, I think, about $27 is what we're gonna do that for the directory listings, and you get 3 listings or 3 counties included in your listing. So, but you're welcome to come in here like anytime and ask your questions. As you're doing it, you start making the calls, you'll be surprised. It's a whole different world where it's like I'm on Google, I'm getting my Google reviews, and that's the most important thing, right? But then you have this whole other thing. So that's marketing, that's inbound leads coming in. But then you have this outbound side where you're actually picking up the phone, calling paralegals and telling them, hey, you probably already have a process server, but I'd love to be a backup. What's a good email for you?
Yeah, I've called so many of the law firms in Nashville. Every single apartment building that I went to in Nashville, any law firm that I just saw. I mean, I dropped my business card, I mean, I've done everything. It's, barely gotten a couple people, to call, and usually it's just a one-off job.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. You said you go into them. Have you tried calling them?
A lot of the law firms, yeah, not necessarily the apartment buildings, I do know that I've been told that you have to try to get in talks with some of their lawyers that the apartment buildings have, but
Yeah, if you call
I
up
can
the property
never get
management.
hold of them.
Yeah, inside the challenge, I talk about that too, is where if you call property management company and say, who's your attorney?
Yeah.
What attorney do you use? And then you go and you call that attorney and say, it's called anchoring. I just talked to Julie over at such and such property manager. I'm serving her notices. Hopefully you had that conversation about serving her notices. I'm serving her notices, and I would love to serve the evictions for you guys as well. I'm
Gotcha.
assuming you probably already have a server, but I would love to be your backup. You have to say that because if you don't include that part in the script, then they're going to say, "Oh, we already have a server, or whatever," and then it immediately goes to like a negative connotation. So
Well,
what you want to
in the state of Tennessee, you just have to be above 21 and not have a felony. So I
do,
think either A, the lawyer already has someone, or the lawyer is using someone from their office, or the leasing office itself is just having
yeah,
that person do it.
any
So
warm body can serve it. Yeah, that's. But California's not that different. They want you to be a registered process server to serve.
yeah, it doesn't take much to register. I know that.
But but just keep in mind, like, you want to find the blue ocean.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of that? You have the red ocean, blue ocean. Red ocean strategy is what we all do. We all go out and we try to compete, right?
Yeah.
The blue ocean strategy is where there's nobody there. There's no other competition. So how do you create that blue ocean in your business is difficult if you in fact have like a commodity type of service where you're serving someone, they're serving someone. So instead of being the guy who serves someone, you're serving someone is just one of your products. You're actually the guy or gal who finds the person, who collects on judgments, who no matter who they are, you can find, right? Like you're that
Yeah.
person. And now when it comes to competition, there is no competition. You're also the person when you do serve it, you always e-file it for them without even that. You're just like you e-file it for them if they have e-filing. And then you know, if it's a bad address, you include a skip trace for free. You just do things that other people aren't willing to do. Now that puts you, it starts to put you in an ocean of your in a blue ocean because they don't even do that, you know. They don't even do those things. And if they did, like the ABCs of the world, they are able to scale because they have like a system in place of like this is how much we charge. It's and our margins are always higher than what we're going to pay our servers, and they stick in that. And so you can outrun them like by miles because they're not going to do all the things that you're doing. They're
Okay.
just they're just not going to do it. But yeah, when it comes to calling, that is what it is. It's you know, generally it's 100 people to one person
Yep.
is like, okay, yeah, let's, you know, but also just being a salesman, understanding, hey, you know, going in person is definitely good, but I like calling because I can call 100 people in a day. Try knocking on 100 law firm doors in a day. That's maybe,
Yeah. I've taken times where, I mean, I've gone to they call it the square in Murfreesboro where I live, and there's just law firms all around. There's like 40 around there. Just drop my business card and rate sheet. I've done it 2 or 3 times, and there's only like one law firm that's actually giving me work from it. But that's how it goes.
yeah, but one law firm. I mean, one law firm, if you do really well for that one law firm, that could turn into two, three, four more
Yeah.
because what happens is that one law firm tells people when they go out to lunch with this other person, that person, one law firm, what we were just talking about, could be the one who's bringing on students from the law school. And now each of those attorneys, when they go off on their own, are now your attorneys because they're like, well, I got to keep using, Josh, he's done such a good job from my cases already. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's really a long game
Yeah, I
where,
know.
yeah, and you go into those places in the future. Have you saw my videos on the candy bowl?
No, I don't think so.
So yeah, Jessica, see, I'm used to Jessica. She's watched every single video 5 times. So
I
she's
know Jeff does a candy bowl.
like, you did what?
I know Jeff does a candy bowl. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah. So you do a candy bowl, something I've talked about a lot. You could have a fancy one made if you wanted to, that had like a little thing with your flyer. You could do that and then have the candy bar area. But it's their business. People walk into their business and see this thing. So rather than do that, if you're going to have one special made, put their information on it. And then put at the bottom of the bowl when the candy's empty.
Oh, like a gift basket, you mean?
Kind of, but you want it to be something that's nice enough they won't throw away
Gotcha.
that you can come in and refill. So now you're coming in and refilling with the little Snickers and Butterfingers and I don't know. I don't know. Some paralegals don't want that. But it could be mints, you know,
Yeah.
York's candies is a good option too, something like that. And then you just go back in and you refill it and you say, what's your favorite candy? All right, I'm getting your favorite this time, not hers. She's been getting the Butterfingers every week. I'm gonna get yours this time. They're like, okay, thank you. And it's just this fun paralegal environment, right? And then when you come back, you bring your candy and you put it in. Some days you don't even say anything. They're busy, they're doing stuff. You just come and be like, boom, and then like here, keep the bag. You guys have the bag too. That way this one could be for your customer. Oh, okay, thank you. All right, see you later. You didn't get anything from it. They don't even use you as a process server. What
That's
are
what I
they?
do for my car people. There's a Dunkin' Donuts right across the street,
Uh,
'cause I'm in there every 2 months and they give me good discounts. I just, go in and I give them Dunkin' Donuts every single time I get an oil change.
dude, it's like positive reciprocity. You give without expectation. It just has to come back because people feel like it's one of the reasons why when I go somewhere, I have this rule, and I don't tell people this often, but especially in my personal life, right? Because I don't want to, it just doesn't sound right. But when I go places, no matter where I go, I give the max tip possible. So like if it has an electronic device and it has like a tip, I'm like max tip. And what's funny about that, because it's this marketing principle that I think most people don't understand. Some people want to pay the premium. They want to pay the most amount of money possible because they have the money and they don't see it like a pride thing. It's more like a these people deserve so much more than they're charging. It's more like that, right?
Mm.
So when I go in, I get this awesome burrito at this burrito truck here in town, and they make these amazing quesadillas. It's like $7 for the quesadilla, and it's like amazing. My time alone to go drive over there is worth more than $100. So why wouldn't I pay more than $7 for this quesadilla? Right.
Yeah.
So when I get the quesadilla and it says 30% tip, I hit 30% tip. So I guess my point is like whenever I go there now, they're immediately like, oh, my coat, you come up. I will like cut the line. I don't want to. I'm like, no, they can go for well, no, they're thinking you come up and I like order. When I go to the bar, it's this place called Juno's and I play poker. I walk in the door and they're filling up my diet cherry Coke with putting cherries in it because they know that's what I like. I don't drink, and they have and oh hey Mike, they call me Mighty Mike because I left them a review
Right.
and put Mighty Mike on there. So they go Mighty Mike, and so they put it down. I don't have to say anything. They give it to me. They start my tab. They know I buy drinks for everybody. You see what I'm saying? Like you just
Gotcha.
become a different person where you put so much effort into them that, and you don't have any expectation they pour back into you. And so it's just a positive reciprocity thing that it just works. Charisma says, I've been doing this all my adult life. This is priceless. Yeah, you just it's a concept that once you start doing it, it becomes like addictive. Now, what becomes a problem is when you like are at a restaurant and there's 30 people at your table. That's the pill you gotta swallow. It's the pill you swallow. You're like, and if you can't afford it, don't do it. Don't do it. But do your portion, You're like, I'll give the cash tip, I'll give an extra cash tip, whatever. Because sometimes you can't afford it. When you can't afford it, don't do it. You definitely don't do it. Don't overspend beyond your means. But once you've made it and you're doing really well, so back to process serving, right? So like when you're giving it to paralegals, and you're pouring into them this way in such a cheap way. How much does it cost for candy? How much does it cost for coffee? You know, and then you build those relationships with those paralegals. It's the easiest relationship to build too. Josh, you're a good looking guy, man. Come on. Are you married? You married?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so you can't do what I did probably, but you can do it and you could go and be friendly and stuff like that. But I dated probably at least a dozen paralegals.
Leasing office ladies always flirt with me, and
Yeah, that's
it's
what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. So you don't want to like, you got commitments or whatever. You don't want to ruin those, but just being professional and being kind and friendly and like, hey, and it goes so far. It has gotten me so many
yeah.
accounts.
I remember one of the first few things someone taught me when in this business was just be professional, answer your phone and answer your email, and like you'll be good.
100%.
Because and I always thought it was like people don't answer their phone, they don't answer their email. Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's
those
a
are the
test.
servers that they think that this is just a side job and they don't put
Yeah.
everything into it.
Yeah, exactly. If they're not answering their phone, it's a side job. Yeah. But put it to the test. If you're one of those people, you're watching the replay or you're on YouTube and you're watching this, you're like, well, I don't want to answer every time. Sometimes I'm busy. Put it to the test. Start answering just eat no matter what. No matter what. You're on the toilet. Answer the phone. And I promise you, you're gonna be like, whoa. Eventually you'll be like, whoa, I just made a $200 job or $500 job. Or if you don't answer the phone, you will never know. But
Yeah.
if you start answering the phone, you'll see that especially if you have a separate line or you're monitoring it somehow, you'll see that it actually works when you answer your phone. People will call you. It's just how business works, especially if you're marketing yourself on Google and on social media. You're going to get business. It's just the way it goes. Yeah, the candy jar thing is gold, especially when you're in like that level one where you're still trying to get above $10,000 a month, because you're what in real estate we call it belly to belly. If you're having trouble getting deals, you're just not talking to enough people. And if you're talking to a bunch of people on the phone, but it's not really working because you don't really you're like uncomfortable on the phone, but you're great with people in person, then you got to go belly to belly, right? Get in front of them and talk to them. And one of the best ways to do that is with the candy bowl.
Hmm.
You got your sticker. Oh, also before you do it, one really quick, easy way to do this is to go on Vistaprint and order stickers with your logo. So now all you have to do is get your real, hopefully you got a nice logo and you have that printed on a sticker. And then you take that sticker and you put it at the bottom of the bowl. And so now all you got to do is go somewhere, find some nice fancy bowls that have you can have one specially designed with a flyer thing of the person. That's good because they're not going to throw that away. It has their business name on it. You just have your business name at the bottom of the bowl where no one really sees it, to be honest.
Right.
Just them when it's empty. And it says, to refill, call your favorite process server, Mighty Mike, right? With the phone number, you know? And Mighty Mike standing by with treats to, whatever. Put something in there that'll make them smile and they will call you. What's funny is I never let them call me. I would show up and just put more candy in and just, talk to them and be like, I got more candy. But you got to stay professional. There's like a line of professionalism where you got to stay on the side of, I'm doing this to build a business. And some of the paralegals would actually tell me like, it's so crazy how busy you've gotten. Your business is growing. And I had one come out to my car and like, and she always called me Mr. Reed. And I was always like, Mr. Reed. Yeah. I'm like, okay. She would call me Mr. Reed because she's trying to be professional. And she's like, I just want to let you know, I didn't want to tell everybody in there, but like I'm just amazed your business, like you just started it like 2 years ago, right? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, 'cause you're doing so well. Like, I just want to tell you I'm proud of you. And she was probably younger than me too. It's so weird. But people notice if you take action and you actually show up for yourself, for your business, you actually show up for them by doing a great service, they will talk to other people about you and you will get all of the attorneys in town. Now keep in mind, your competition is trying to do the same stuff. They're trying to build their business too. The beauty is most of the industry is old. Most of the big players in the industry are 70, 80 years old,
Yep.
and they're ready to sell their businesses.
Yeah,
They're
it's
ready.
happening. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah. And
I
yeah,
don't know if you heard, Provis just got bought too a couple weeks ago.
I didn't uh I heard they were sold, but that was like a year ago. Did they sell to somebody else?
No, it was Scott Levine sold JJL to
Right.
Provest,
You're
and
right. Yeah.
he's actually just getting back into the game because his non-compete is a. I thought
Has
that was funny, and it's some company called North or N360 that bought Provest. So
Yeah, I mean that and in Florida that's actually very common. These guys would buy Accurate what is it called?
accurate, sir.
Is it Accurate Serve? It's the franchise one. It's the only franchise. It's actually a pretty fascinating
I think
thing.
it's accurate.
Yeah, I think it's Accurate Serve. They have like a whole like thing in Florida. It's just Florida. I think they have a couple that have branched out a little bit, but the guy started one down in South Florida, and he's like, interesting that all of the Florida process servers that do it, like the people actually signing the proofs, are getting paid $15. You know,
Yeah,
$18, and they love it. And they'll serve for 10 different companies, and they'll go serve 100 papers, and they love it, and they're okay with $15 a serve because they get so much volume from all these companies. And then these companies are charging 60, $70, 50, somewhere between 50 and 80. And so they're making a good profit. And he realized this. And then he ended up franchising his company and spread it to all the other, started selling franchises. And I know somebody, his name's Kevin. He and his dad started one. He bought into the franchise, sold it, and they had the two-year non-compete, came back. Now he started another company with his dad in that same market. And so a lot of their customers came back to them from, so I'm like, but it's a thing and they sell them for millions of dollars, you
Yep.
know, it's crazy. So, all right, well, I better get going. It's 9:30. Guys, it was fun. Yeah, Josh, hopefully you can come more often. I'm gonna do it Monday through Thursday until further notice. So you can go to mightyprocessserver.com. I'll let you into the group. It's completely free. And cool, man. Do you have anything else?
No, I mean, I hope to just keep learning because you're, as far as I know, you're like the only person I've found on the internet that actually like tries to teach and try to help people grow. So
Yeah, it's hard because process servers often don't want to support themselves either financially, they want to pay for stuff, or they just don't want to put in the time. Yeah.
the business is it's very untapped, I think, and a lot of people don't see it as a job. I was on the board of TAPS last year. I'm not on the executive board, but I'm still on, helping them with stuff. But we had someone from NAPS come out, and just being in the business a while, I was like, you probably know this. You probably know all the numbers. What do you see in states, in terms of turnover ratio? Like try a server out, what's the rate that they actually stay? And I said, I found it's like 1 to 10 to 1 to 20. And he goes, yeah, it's right around there. Some states it's 1 to 10, some states it's 1 to 15, some states it's 1 to 20, but yeah, it's right around there. And then he said, but of that 1 to 10 to 20, give it another 6 months to a year, they're gone.
Yeah, and so that's my goal is to change that. My goal is that if you stick in the community, you come to the meetings, you build your business, you will look back. We did this once before. I called it PSD University, and we had a mastermind every day, and we started doing it once a week after a while. But the guys who came, I like invited Mike Kern, Steve Glenn, like these are guys who have like made millions of dollars in their states, and they would all come. And at some point I might do that too, but I know they're very busy. Like Mike now has expanded into Texas and he wants to go to New Jersey. And so this has got a multimillionaire who flies every day, literally on a plane. I'm not gonna be like, we're friends and I don't want to be like, show up to my meetings, these meetings, free meetings. So, but eventually I will have them come in as special. I did that once recently. But anyway, those meetings, we would do them and there's probably like 20 of us all together that would come here and there. We all knew each other. We were so close. Like I know some of the people, Jacob Davis,
Yeah.
Kenny Ringo. Like you can watch some of the old videos that we made, and we'd all be on here and talking about stuff. And you get to know their business and their some of the things that they are like hot buttons for them or political stuff, the different political leanings and stuff. And it makes you just understand that people are just people. And at the end of the day, as process servers, we're just trying to make money to provide for our families. We're just
Yep.
trying to, yeah, and to buy our cool stuff, the things we want to have fun with, or.
And make them tax write-offs for a business.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, come into this and like, being a part of your local association is really good. Once you guys dial in your conference, if actually went to one in Georgia and I've never been to a Tennessee one. I've always wanted to go to the Tennessee one,
I
but
was actually gonna, I mean, we're gonna have a fall meeting pretty soon, and I'm gonna bring up your name to maybe be a speaker, see what they say, and then I'll reach back out to you.
yeah. Yeah, I know I've talked to some of those guys before. Like, oh, I don't know if our people want to hear about marketing. I'm like, okay, you all you can do is all you can do, but at the end of the day, growing your membership. This is why people are going to see this on a whole nother level with Mighty Process Server, because
Yeah.
I'm essentially building a directory, a community, an education platform all in one. And I'd love to make it completely free if people would actually show up. But I know people have to pay sometimes in order to actually pay attention. And
Yep.
so at some point there will be a fee for like the directory part, which will fund everything else that I actually want to do that will help people grow their businesses and actually create a community around it. And I've paid for a lot. I've paid over 100. I did the math. I did a screenshot of it. I paid of all the different communities I'm in. I paid well over 100 grand just in masterminds in real estate. And process serving doesn't have anything that I've seen. I keep saying it. The closest I've seen is like Serve Now, and I guess Nap.
I even tried them for a few months and I got like 2 job quotes and they never responded.
Yeah, yeah. Half the time it's Naps is probably the one because they're so old. They've been around for so long
Yeah.
that the some of the bigger firms still use them, and so you can get business from them in some areas. In other areas, they already have their guy dialed in, and they're not going to send out quote requests. They already know who they're going to send it to. So if you sign up for Naps and you don't get work, that just means that there's someone in your market that's already serving all their stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that big company stuff that's going through Naps. So once they decide to only use you, you won't get it from Naps anymore. You'll get it directly from them,
Yeah.
So that's the goal. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see you again. Yeah, feel free to come in. We start 8 o'clock East. So that's 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You're in Tennessee, so it's like basically
9.
almost right now.
It's 10:37 right now.
Oh, Tennessee, that's like Texas time, huh?
So most of Tennessee is central. When you East Tennessee, like Knoxville-ish area, that's when it's becomes Eastern Standard. Yeah, I'm like 2.5 hours away from Eastern Standard Time. And actually Chattanooga, it's like where I'm at, you just go south, like and just a little bit east. Chattanooga is actually Eastern Standard.
Mm. Yeah. So you're Central Time.
I am Central.
You in Texas.
Tennessee.
No. But Texas is Central too, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Central Time. And then Jessica over there, she's got to come in at 7 a.m. to get in
Yeah,
here.
we don't see many East Coasters, West Coasters at this time of the day. So
And that's all the people I know pretty much in California. Those are most of the servers that work for me and that do a lot of stuff that I do a lot of work with. They're still getting up and getting ready probably.
sun's up now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be traveling inside of the community that if you go to Mighty Process Server and then click join, you actually the directory says join. So you want to go to classroom or calendar, and that'll take you to school. Once you're in
Okay.
once you're in school, I'll accept you in there. You'll actually see in the calendar, I'm gonna be traveling in my RV. I bought a new RV just for this, and I'm gonna travel um to California. So Phoenix, California. And then I'm going to go back to Texas in October. So when I go to Texas, that would be cool. I don't know when your guys' conference is, but I'm gonna go through Texas, Tennessee. I'm gonna go all the way to Florida.
March. We typically do it in March.
Okay. Yeah, and I know they're doing naps in March,
April.
in April.
I think it's April. It's in Orlando, right?
Yeah, so it might work out that I just go right by there too. I've been to a few conferences where I have them like pay for my room and my flights, and that when I was traveling, that's what I did. And conferences would do that, but I don't need that anymore. That was when I was first starting out, so that was like 2015. So yeah, if they'll have me, I'll come speak, and we can work out something where I just have a booth, and then I'll speak, and then just giving value. Tell them, hey, you want a website? Basically, the only thing I sell is my website and now my directory. So, and it's all just to help process servers.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, you have a great day, Jessica. Have a great day, Charisma. We didn't see you, but we know that you're there.
All
We
right.
can see everything.
Thank you.
Thank
Guys,
you.
have a
Have a
great
good
day.
day.
Oh yes, the signing out. We got to sign out.
Yeah.
Have a mighty day. I love it.
Bye.
All right, have a great day. See you later.